On today's Into Your Head number 655 for Wednesday, saying no to gullet cleansers, how deaf dogs get by, controlling your dreams, Latin in the 1980s, expanding my musical arsenal, clamping calendars to things, and lots more.
Into your head. Into your head. Into your head. Into your head.
Phephelstine. That's today's new word, because I've just realised I discuss it later on in the show, but a lot of you won't be familiar with what it means, so you have at least 15 or 20 minutes now till it comes up, so you have plenty of time to look it up and familiarise yourself with the words, so you won't be left behind, like I was back that time when that anecdote occurred that I'll be telling you about later. Suffice to say, your homework for the second half of today's show, to be done in advance while you're listening to the first half, is to look up the word Phephelstine. Look up the spelling of it as well while you're there, I suppose. Use your Apple thing where you speak into it. You say, Siri, if I had my iPadlet with me, I'd do it for you. But no, I don't. My iTelephone doesn't have Siri, only my iPadlet does. But no, just say, Siri, what is Phephelstine? And Siri will say, I don't know, do you want me to look it up for you? And you say, yes please. Of course I won't say that, it'll just look it up automatically, because that's the way Apple does things. It's supposed to be as easy as be damned. It just works, as Steve Jobs used to say, back when he used to work. He doesn't work anymore, he's no longer functioning as a human being. May Jesus Christ have mercy on him. Anyway, there's a Steve in Microsoft though now, isn't there? There's a Steve something in charge of Microsoft, and there's some other fella in charge of Apple who's not a Steve. So I suppose the Steve era, it's Microsoft's Steve era now, and it's Apple's post-Steve era. I wonder have they ever both had Steves at the same time? Here's a question for you. You look that one up while you're at it. You say, Siri, has Apple and Microsoft ever both have Steves at the same time in charge? And Siri will say, I don't know, that's confidential. I don't give out information about my company that I was manufactured by. And you'll say, but you were manufactured in China by some suicidal people in a factory, allegedly. And Siri will say, don't be a smart horse. And you'll say, you're my telephone. I'll be a smart horse if I want. You're not the boss of me. You're not the boss of me. And we're not so. You're not the. What's that song? Malcolm in the Middle. You're not the boss of me now. You're not the boss of me now. You're not the boss of me now, and you're not so something. Life is unfair. Copyright Malcolm, 1994 or whatever. We've moved on from Malcolm in the Middle now. We're watching The Middle. It's a sitcom as well. But there's no Malcolm in it, so it's just called The Middle. Frankly, it's better than Malcolm in the Middle. Malcolm in the Middle was 90s. The Middle is very 2000 and teens. I don't know what you call it. Is it called 2000 and teens? Probably. Well, it is now. It's definitely not called Phephelstine, though, so you still have to look that up and learn it. Anyway, we've a lot to get on with today. Items that need to be attended to, issues that need to be addressed, topics. Topics. We've got lots and lots of topics. We're positively booming to the seams with topics. We've got topics coming out of this weird musical instrument that I've just received from a very kind listener. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's what's it called again? I forget what it's called. It's called a something anyway. It's called a something, and I'm still figuring out how to use it. My wife has figured out how to play it, but I haven't yet. She said you hold it up to your mouth like this, you hold your teeth slightly apart and you pull this up to it. I might be doing it wrong now. I have to get her to show me again, but she managed to get some nice noises out of it last night. Hold on. Christ. Oh, there we go. You can do better than that. For basically, when you do it properly, it makes noises like that. I have to check with my wife again. I don't know what way I'm supposed to be holding it. Suffice to say, another instrument added to the arsenal of into your head musical instruments. Thank you very much indeed, Jerry. Much appreciated. Where are we going now? We're going over here. We're going over here to the microphone, which I'm already at. I'm going over here anyway. I'm directing my attention towards it rather than directing it towards what else is on my desk. Hello, microphone. How the hell? I'm all self-conscious now. Conscious of the microphone that's being thrust into my face by the microphone stand. I'm all self-conscious now. I'm like the fellow who comes out of a court on paedophile charges and 85 journalists around him and they say, "Sir, what do you have to say to us?" The correct answer, of course, is to say, "I have nothing to say to you," although I've just contradicted myself now by saying that. Christ, has anyone got a newspaper I can hold over my head? Preferably one with a made-up name, a mock-up newspaper, because you can't be holding real newspapers over your face on television news anymore, because that's giving free publicity to newspapers. You have to get a fake one. I like to do on films where they have you know damn well the fella is drinking Coca-Cola, but he'll have some made-up brand on the can, or else he'll have his hand over the name, so you can't see what he's saying. They have a new thing now. On Irish television, they put PP at the beginning of some programmes, and it means morning. There's paid product placement in this programme. What happens as a result of that is that everybody goes, "What the fuck is PP? I don't know." Well, those of us who occasionally read the news and know a bit about the world around us and pay attention, know what it means. It means product placement. You see it sometimes on the likes of MasterChef. They'll say product placement. Some products are being placed in return for compensation of some kind, or consideration. They say in return for consideration, meaning not necessarily cash, but other payment. What's that word? There's something like consideration. They use some word like that. Anyway, suffice to say, is this the beginning of the show? I can't remember. Did I say hello at the beginning of this, or is this a segment for the middle? I can't remember. Anyway, either way, hello, and welcome to the show. Monkey nuts. That's what they called them. They called them big, steaming, dolloping, shit-eating, piss-piling, wank-welding, product-placing, calendar clamping. I've got a calendar clamped here. It's clamped to my spare monitor, which I don't use. I'm keeping it as a spare. I've given up on the dual monitor setup. I have a spare monitor set up instead, in case this one ever breaks. I have a spare monitor sitting there behind this one, ready to go. And at the moment I'm using it to clamp things to. I have a mini blackboard clamped to it, and I have a calendar clamped to it, and I have a, what's that? Oh, that's a Tesco clothing voucher valid till 31st of January this year. I must remember to consider using that at some point. I'll use it to, you get a €10 off clothes, and they only charge you about €6 to deliver them, so you make €4 profit. I presume they deliver the profit to you. And I had a fella around here the other day, turned up with some of my Christmas shopping, or my post-Christmas shopping, wherever you call it, and he said, "Hello, I'm the courier. I have a parcel for you, but unfortunately you have to pay customs on it." So I gave him the customs money, and he says, "I've no change, is that okay?" I said, that's fine, rip me off, freaking government charging me to import crap from the other end of the world. I was importing crap from what was I buying? Yes, I got a waterproof Sony shower radio for the shower. I'm accumulating radios like there's no tomorrow at the moment. I have an internet radio in the kitchen stroke dining room stroke kitchen, which can be heard from most of the ground floor, and I have a shower radio for the shower, and I have an old radio which is now in the downstairs toilet. What else have I got? I've got 6 cats. We're getting another one soon. What else? I've got this house. I've got this iTelephone. I've got you, the listener. You, the humble and ignorant listener. I've got your full and undivided attention. What did I just say? Here's a test. What have I been saying for the last 2 minutes? You don't have to answer out loud. Well, if you're able to recount at least 5 things that I've spoken about in the last 2 minutes, well, then you'll know you're paying attention to your podcasts. If you're not able to do that, that's understandable too, because I listen to stuff in the background sometimes too. But if I haven't been listening to it properly, I know I have to re-listen to it. So you need to test yourself every now and then. Say, what has he spoken about for the last 2 minutes? And if you can't answer yourself that, then you need to rewind and start the show again. It's just like that thing. There's people who try to do that thing where they're awake inside a dream, and to try and get used to it every day through their waking life. Every hour or so, they'll knock on a bit of wood like this, and they'll say, "Am I dreaming?" And they'll think about it, and then they'll answer themselves. And then if you do it often enough, supposedly in the middle of a dream, you can go, "Am I dreaming?" And then you think, "Yes, I am dreaming. Cool, I'm inside a dream now, and I can manipulate it. I can decide what I'm going to dream about and do something filthy." That's if Joe Rogan is anything to believe, which I believe he is, even though he's on drugs. He's always on about his drugs and his exercise. If you listen to the Joe Rogan Experience, he spends half the time going on about exercise and the other half going on about drugs. That's absolutely fucking fantastic. Anyway, on with the show. 2 dogs walk into a bar. One of the dogs goes straight up to the bar counter and goes, "Woof. Woof, 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 woof. Woof, 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 woof." And the man behind the bar says, "Christ, there's a dog in here. Who brought a dog in here? Is this a guide dog? If you're in charge of a guide dog here, speak now or forever hold your tongue." Unless, of course, you're unable to speak, in which case I don't see how a dog would help you with that, unless you're blind as well, I suppose. But still, how would you call the dog then? I don't know. If you're blind and can't speak, how do you call the frigging dog? I suppose you grunt or something, or you tap her on the shoulder. Do dogs have shoulders? I don't know. Anyway, last call for this dog. Does anyone want to claim ownership of it or claim to be in charge of it? No. Dog, you need to leave now. And the dog goes, "Woof, woof, 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 woof." And the man behind the bar says, "Out you go," and pushes him by the arse, out through the door, out through the double doors and out onto the pavement. And then he goes back inside and goes in behind the bar, and straight away the other dog who came in with him turns up at the bar and says, "Hello, you haven't seen my friend here, have you? I saw him go up here to the bar." And the barman says, "Christ, not another frigging one. Yes, I have seen your friend. I threw him out because he's a dog. Are you a dog too?" And the dog says, "No, I'm not a dog too. I'm an ordinary bog standard dog, except I can talk. I can talk. I'm a dog for my owner." He's not able to speak, so I speak for him. I'm a guide dog for the dumb, although I prefer not to use that word. It's considered politically incorrect these days, because dumb is also a slang word for stupid. You don't want to be calling my owner stupid, or I can tell you I'll have words for you. He won't, but I will. And the man behind the bar says, "Fair enough, but where's your owner?" And the dog says, "I just kicked him out. You just kicked him out, rather. He's out there on the pavement, as far as I can gather." And the man behind the bar says, "So you're telling me that a dog has a guide dog?" And the dog says, "Yes, my owner, that other dog, he's not able to speak, so I speak for him." And the man behind the bar says, "I suppose that would explain why he's barking. That and the fact that he's a dog. Anyway, please bring him back in, and please accept my apologies and a couple of pints of beer." And the dog says, "Thank you very much. 2 pints of Guinness, please." And the man behind the bar says, "I didn't say you had a choice of what beer. I'll give you whatever's here in the waste bucket. You're a dog after all, for Christ's sake. You don't overdo it here." And the dog says, "Fair enough. I know my place, and it's in front of my owner? And the man says, absolutely, exactly.
The Into Your Head podcast will be right back after this. We're back with the Into Your Head podcast.
How the hell are you? I hope you're well. I hope you're well. I hope you're well. If you're not, there's nothing much I can do about it. I suppose I could pretend to be some sort of fake doctor. I pretend to be a real doctor and be an actual fake doctor and say, oh, I can cast a spell on you or push some needles into your neck or something that'll cure you. But no, I'm not going to do that to you. I care about you, the listener. I'm not going to just stab you in the back like that, even if it's with some sort of needle that might cure you. They only work in Japan anyway, or somewhere. Those needles. Nothing against alternative medicine, but this isn't the alternative world. This is the Western world. If you want alternative medicine, you have to do it somewhere alternative, in an alternative reality. That would be real alternative medicine. Medicine from another dimension, or another parallel universe, or a perpendicular universe. It'd be more like a parallel universe. Surely would just be the same as this one. It's a perpendicular universe you want, or one that goes at right angles to this universe, or one that goes up and down rather than the left to right. Is that perpendicular as well? It probably is. I don't know. Is there's perpendicular translate to a 3D axis? I don't know, because there's one perpendicular that goes at right angles to you, but there's another type of perpendicular that will go from down to up or up to down, and that will be perpendicular to you too, surely. I don't know. Anyway, and then don't get me started on going diagonally. I don't know what to call that. I didn't spend long enough specialising in maths for that. I just did the basic school maths. You learned 2 + 2 = 4, and then you went to secondary school and they said, now well done, you've learned how to add. Now you need to prove that a circle is round. And you get out you'd start writing a thing. You'd say something, 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 therefore something, 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 and then you put some Latin at the end. You go QED, which stands for Quodete Demonstrandum, which means which was to be shown. You're not allowed to do it in English because your maths teacher is Mr. Nesbitt and he's very old. And you remember, in the old days, apparently everything was done in Latin, back when Ireland was part of Latinia, presumably. I don't know. They even used to do mass in Latin until they brought along Vatican II. They said, no more of this Latin crap. Nobody understands it. It's hard enough getting through to them in English. So we're going to have mass in English now. No more Latin. Latin is a thing of the past. I don't know if they put her quite like that. In fact, I don't even know the details. I remember in the 80s, though, a lot of people used to go on the radio about, how it's all gone downhill since Vatican II. There used to be Vatican I, and then they changed everything. They said, this is the new thing, Vatican II. I don't even know what Vatican II is. I just remember it being talked about a lot.
Into your head!
Remember, we value the opinions of you, the humble and ignorant listener. Email studio@intoyourhead.com.
Support the podcastual arts at no cost to you. Just click through the Amazon link at intoyourhead.com whenever you go shopping for anything, even if you use Amazon UK or Canada. We'll take your weird foreign money here. We're not proud. Just visit intoyourhead.com and click on the appropriate Amazon banner.
Do you need glasses? You probably do. I know you don't think you do, but can you see me from where you're sitting? You probably can't. That means you need glasses. And what better way to get them than through the Into Your Head website, delivered straight from the Into Your Head website to your door, worldwide shipping, and the show makes a generous commission at no extra cost for you. Just go to intoyourhead.com, down the left, scroll along the prescription glasses, goggles for you ad, and browse for your prescription eyewear, your contact lenses, your glasses, your weird bifocals for freaks, and all the rest of it. Buy your glasses online. Into Your Head makes a generous commission at no extra cost to you. You support the podcastual arts, and as a bonus, you get to be able to see. You get to be able to see past the end of your nose, so you can see more than just the dried snot that's on top of your nose. You can see stuff in front of you. Stuff like, for example, the following content.
IntoYourHead.com!
Two dogs walk into a bar story. One of the dogs straight away goes straight up to the narrator and says, "Hello, can I have a free pass today? I'm sick of being in these stories. Can I have a get out of jail free card? Not that I think of your stories as jail. They're delightful, but no, I'd like a day off if you don't mind." And the man behind the narrator says, "Fuck you, you cunt. Fuck you, you big ugly dog cunt. If you're a cat, I might be prepared to listen to you, but you're not. You're a dog. You're nothing but a dog. A dogular creature. You're no more than a dog. Or what, like the dogs in the street, as they say. The dogs in the street, they're not of any value. Dogs have no value on this earth whatsoever. So get out of my story." And the dog says, "Oh, thank you very much. That's exactly what I was asking for, to get out of your story." And the narrator goes, "Fuck. Hanging on the wall, and if one green bottle should accidentally fall, there'll be 9 green bottles hanging on the wall. 9 green bottles hanging on the wall. 9 green bottles hanging on the wall. The wall, the wall. We don't need no education. We don't need no education. All in all, you're just another bottle hanging on the wall. And if one green bottle should accidentally fall, there'll be 8 green bottles hanging on the wall. 8 green bottles hanging on the wall." And if I could remember what that song Michael Jackson did that was called "Off the Wall" or something, how that went, then that would fit in well here. Or was it just the name of an album? Was there a song called "Off the Wall"? I'm not sure now. Christ. It's from back when he used to be black. I think it was one of his last albums before he changed colour. Anyway, suffice to say, there'll be 8 then, and then you get rid of another one, and then there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then there'll be 6, and then there'll be 5, and then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1, and then 0. And after that, it's pretty much gets a bit boring after that. You can't go into the minus figures with these things, no matter how much the mathematicians may theorise about that. There's no minus figures in real life. You can't have minus anything. You can't have a minus. You can't even have minus numbers of icicles, no matter how cold they are. Even if they're below 0 temperature, you can't have a minus number of them. So go way out with that with your shite, so-called mathematicians, if that's your real species. Anyway, on with the show. Phephelstine. That's what they call it. They call it Phephelstine. Or do they? There's a question for you. Do they call it Phephelstine? Do they even know what you're referring to? If you go up to someone in the street and you said, "Hello, what word do you normally use to refer to Phephelstine? Do you call it Phephelstine or do you call it something else?" There's a good chance they'd say, "I don't really know what you're referring to." You'd have to say, "I'm referring to Phephelstine." And they'll say, "Yes, but what's Phephelstine?" And you'll say, "That's exactly what I'm asking. What do you call Phephelstine?" And they'll say, "I don't know, because I don't know what Phephelstine is. Even if I did use another word to describe it, I don't know what it is that you're talking about." And you'll say, "I'm talking about fucking Phephelstine. Fucking Phephelstine." And then you go mad. And then you get kicked out of the journalist union, even if you're in one at all. Because that's such a thing as getting... I remember I was in Dublin once and a fella from News Talk 106 to 108 came up to me. It was just called News Talk 106 then, in those days. He came up to me, pointed a microphone into my face and asked me some question or other. So I said, "Are you trying to interview me?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "I didn't give you permission to interview me. Get out of my face." At least that's the conversation that I had with him in my head after I ran off. And I wished I'd said it to his face, but I didn't. I just went all awkward and said, "Meh, meh, meh, meh," and ran away. If only you could think of these things while you're in the middle of the situation or in advance of them. I suppose I've planned if I ever meet that fella again, I'll have that ready. I'll have it stitched to a label inside my blazer coat pocket. I presume I'll be wearing a blazer coat pocket. I haven't worn a blazer since my first communion. Oh no, in fact, yes, my first communion was the last time and first time I wore a blazer, a hand-me-down blazer that my brother had also worn. No, I haven't worn a blazer since then, but I assume that if I'm ever back in that part of Dublin, Merrion Square, it'll be because I'm a member of Parliament and I'm on my way to my Dáil seat to vote on some legislation or something, so I presume I'll be wearing a blazer in that instance. It's not as if there's anything else around there that you could be working in. It's not populated by any McDonald's or anything like that, although there are a few cafes, and there's that place I used to work in too. I suppose there's that. And what else is there? There's Merrion Square itself, which is a park, and there's Fitzwilliam Square where the prostitutes go. I suppose I could be going there. Would I be wearing a blazer for that? I don't know. It's probably over speculating now about something that's never happened or going to happen. Whatever. Anyway, suffice to say hello. I know what you're thinking there. You're thinking the sound quality on today's show sounds a bit off. It sounds like he's over amplifying it or whatever he's called. Don't panic. I'm just waiting for my new mouth guard thing to arrive. It'll be all cured then. Until then, you'll just have to deal with it. There's nothing really involved with dealing with it other than doing nothing. You just have to sit there doing nothing and live through it, and then it'll be fine. It'll be all fine. Relax, take a chill pill, or take a sleeping tablet, or take some drugs, take some illegal drugs. I didn't say that. I didn't say take some, although maybe I did I? I suppose I could rewind and see. In fact, now that I think about it, I think I probably did. But I didn't mean it. I don't condone illegal drugs. I don't condone anything that's illegal in your jurisdiction. But remember, we're in different jurisdictions. What's legal over there may not be legal over here, and what's illegal over there may not be illegal over here. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, as long as it's within the laws. The laws of the law. I don't smoke anything or take any drugs of any kind whatsoever. I don't believe in them. I don't believe drugs exist. I've never seen any in my life. I never have any. I don't mix in those kind of circles. When I was in school, I used to mix with people who'd eat Mars bars and cheese sandwiches, and then they'd go home and do their homework and watch the television and go to bed. I didn't mix with drug dealers, so I never had the opportunity to get into drugs. It was probably just as well. I'm probably better off without drugs. Caffeine is enough for me. Caffeine and beer, and I don't know, Panadol night, or whatever else is going. But no drugs apart from that. Drugs, just say no to drugs. Say no, as they used to say on the advert. There used to be an advert on the TV aimed at children that would say, just say no to drugs. They'd show people going up to drugs in the street and saying, no to you. And the drugs will say, I'm sorry, are you trying to interview me? And they'd say, no, I'm just trying to say no to you. I'm being proactive in saying no to you. And the drug would say, I think you've confused me for someone else. I'm not a drug. I'm just advertising proactive yogurt drink, Benecol, which has just come out. You drink a little bottle of this every day and it protects your gut from something or other, or so I'm led to believe by the marketing people. And then the child would say, oh, sorry about that. I thought you were a drug. I haven't much experience in this because I've managed to stay away from drugs throughout my short life so far. And the drug will say, oh, well done you. Well, carry on being non-drug free. Well done, I'm proud of you. And the child will say, thank you very much. This commercial is getting very long now. We should probably cut this conversation short. And the drug will say, oh, it's fine. The government is paying for it. It'll be fine. Anyway, good morning.